Hi everybody, Jessie here from jessiebanks.com, and I'm back with another video. Well, I'm hoping to turn this one into a series here on my channel, and I ordered this stamp set specifically for this. So this is Waffle Flowers. This is their swatch stamp, and I bought the coordinating die with it. So I took this piece here, the outline, and I cut out a whole bunch of these little tags. And then we are stamping the card part onto the start of it. So that's where we can get all of our information put onto our little tag here in order to have all the information for the different watercolors and things that I have in my stash. So that is what we are working on here today. I just want to move this. I just need to do a little adjusting here. Let's see. Because that wasn't quite straight. Which is fine, but I'm a little bit picky. So we're going to move it over just a hair. So I'm just going to line that up again, slightly different. Let's make sure that I am as straight as I want to be here. Like I said, slightly fussy. Pick that up on our stamp, and I double check, and that should work for me. So I'm going to put our little magnets up at the top here, and then I'm just going to stamp all of these off. I'll show you guys one, and then I'll do the rest off screen. But back to the purpose in this is, I picked these up in order to swatch out all of the different pigments and watercolors that I have in my stash. If you've been watching my videos and things, you know I have quite an elaborate stash. I do take a sharp, like a permanent marker, and go over this mass tone line just to make sure that it's nice and black without having to stamp everything multiple times. I do have quite a large collection, but it'll be fun to focus on the different pigments. Like once a week I'm hoping to put up a video with a different color, and we'll go over all of the information on these little tags, and then we will do like finding its opposite, like its complementary color, to make some neutrals, and what sorts of colors it can mix with and things, just to give us a lot more information and have it handy for all of the different colors I have, which will hopefully help you guys pick out what colors you want to add to your watercolor collection, etc., etc. Because some of these colors aren't my favorites on their own, but they're fabulous when mixing with other colors and things. So that's kind of the whole reason behind this. So like I said, we're going to start with one color, and then I'm hoping to release kind of like a one a week type deal so that I don't bombard my YouTube channel with this. I mean, I am primarily a card making channel, so I definitely don't want to only have swatches and things on this channel for you guys. I want you guys to be able to see cards and Copics and colored pencils and me using my watercolors and things, so kind of the whole 9 yards. So that's where we are. So I'm just going to finish stamping all of these ones out just to get us started. I will have to cut more as we get further into this series if you guys enjoy it, but I will be back and we will start on our first one. We're going to kick things off with one of my personal favorite colors that I use a ton when I paint florals and things of that nature. This is Daniel Smith's Quinacridone Coral. So we're going to start, oh, I bumped the camera there, sorry. We're going to start by filling out our little sheet here. I just have a Micron pen. So we're going to start with putting our name. So instead of writing out Quinacridone, I'm just going to put Quin Coral. The brand is DS for Daniel Smith. Our pigment number on Quinacridone Coral, you'll find that on the side here. Let me zoom in a little more. You'll find that on the sides of them here. So our pigment number on this one is PR209. So that's pigment red number 209. So we'll fill that under pigment number. And then this gives you a whole ton of information. So if I go over to it here, it's a Series 2 Light Fast of 1, which is great. And then, dum-de-dum-de-dum. Hang on, I gotta read this a little closer. The information is on the tubes. Some tubes have it on, some tubes don't. So I just pulled it up on the Daniel Smith website here. So the Light Fast is 1, which is excellent, so I'm just gonna leave all 5 stars there. It is a low staining, so I'm not going to mark that until we test it. It is completely transparent, and it is a non-granulating color. So all of those we're just going to leave the way they are for now. So I'm going to pull here, I have, this is just a butcher pan. I pick them up at my art supply store. I really like them. The paint doesn't bead on them and stuff. So I'm just going to pull a little bit of the pigment right from the tube. This is one that I carry in the palette I use the most, but I'm going to use it fresh out of the tube for this. We're going to take a little bit of water and get this flowing. And then we will start with our mass tone swatch. So I am using, this is a Princeton Kolinsky Sable brush, so this is a natural hair brush. I love this brush. But we're going to start by painting in our mass tone. So our mass tone is just a complete wash of the full strength color to let you see what the color itself looks like right off the hop. So we're just going to put that in there. You don't want to mix it up too thick. Like, you still want watercolor. You don't want it to be just like the paint right out of the tube. So there's our flat wash. And then this one, we're going to do a gradient. So we're going to start at the dark end here and gradually blend it out to be lighter. That will allow us to test our transparency and all of that fun stuff. So we're going to go right over top. I'm going to clean out my brush. I use rags, so then I dry them. They end up filthy. I wash them once they get dirty enough. And then we just start to, I want that to go a little bit further here so we can test our lifting in this section. So we'll pull it to about the halfway point, clean out the brush, and then blend it out the rest of the way. So you can see the gradient you can achieve with this color. Right, so as that dries, you will get your dark to light gradient through everything. I kind of went outside of the lines. I'm alright with that. I'm not overly fussy. I know this color is hard to pick up on the camera, so I'm hoping it'll be close to correct. So I'm just going to zoom out and pull in another piece of paper here in order to do some other tests with this color so we can get a closer look at it. While our sample sheet dries, we're going to look at some of the different mixes and things we can make with this color. Now, my samples I did on Arch's 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. This is not a cheap paper, but I want to see the actual color. Colors lift different on this than cellulose paper, which is just like a pulp-based paper as opposed to a cotton-based paper. So that's why I'm using this for my sample. As for our blending and things, this is going to be Canson XL watercolor paper. So this is a cellulose paper. It'll lift a little easier. It's a little bit different, but it will work for the purposes that we are going to use. So I have our Quinacridone Coral in the pan here. And this is my Daniel Smith colors that, well, not all Daniel Smith, most of them are. But this is the palette that I tend to use the most when painting things. So I'm going to use this just to mix some different colors with what we have with our Quinacridone Coral. So this is, let's move this over a little bit. This is a little bit of phthalo green. And we're going to put some of our Quinacridone Coral into this, which will give us a fairly grayed out purple. Now this phthalo green will take everything over, as you can see, but this will give us a fairly gray color. It's a nice neutral. I really like it. I think it's very, very pretty. You mix it up darker, of course. There was lots of water in that one. I can add some more pigment to it and get a more concentrated hue. So that is a fairly neutral color, which I like. I like that I can combine and get a gray from this color. I think that's a super awesome thing to be able to achieve. You can get a really nice brown as well. I find mixing sap green with a little bit of our Quinacridone Coral here will mix up and give us a really nice, like, yellowy brown color. It works really good for animal hair and things of that nature. If I add a little bit more of the sap green to it, it'll get a little more on the greeny hue. But I really like that for light animals. I like it for bases of foxes and things of that nature. I also really enjoy mixing Quinacridone Gold. I don't know if you guys can see this anymore. Let's turn it this way. Quinacridone Gold with, well, I pulled too much of that other color, but you can get really bright and vivid oranges out of this mix. which is awesome. I don't have a lot of orange watercolors. If this series is popular and you guys seem to enjoy seeing what you can do with these colors, I'm just going to pull it out a little bit of the mass tone of just the coral on its own here. If you guys really enjoy this, I will pick up a bunch of colors that I don't have just to play with and test out and see what we can add to our palettes and things. But this is going to be super fun. I'm really excited to do this and play with our colors a little bit more and see what we can get out of things. I do enjoy I just dipped my paintbrush in my coffee cup. FYI. Just so y'all know what happened there. Mixing our Quinacridone Coral with Phthalo Blue to make some really beautiful bright purples. If you don't have a lot of purples in your stash, you can mix so many colors out of these, especially when you're playing with single pigment ones. They don't muddy up as fast as they do when you're using multi-pigment colors. So you can get deeper purples. Like, those are beautiful colors. You can wash it out and keep it more pink. Let's add some more coral to that. Keep it more on the pinky side. So you can definitely get some beautiful colors out of our mixes here. I've never mixed, what else do I have on my palette here? I kind of like mixing it with colors I use all the time. I know this Quinacridone Coral is on my Daniel Smith palette. That's where I'm pulling this from, since I use that little blob up in what we've been mixing. But we could mix it with a bright yellow here to get an even more fiery orange type yellow color. That's really pretty. Add a little more coral to it and deepen it up. That's what's nice about watercolors, is you can just keep mixing to get the colors you want. I really love this entire color palette, you guys. The only thing you're missing for a floral is a green. And if you have a sap green like I was using to mix these, you can make some amazing florals simply with this color. Mixing it with what else is on your palette. I think it's beautiful. So we're going to look at our little chart here now. Let's zoom back in. I'm just going to put that off to the side. Zoom you guys in here. And we're going to do some lifting. So when I do lifting or scrubbing of any nature, I like this little brush. This is a Royal & Langnickel brush. It is a flat brush, but it's stiff. So it will scrub to release some of that color, which is what I like when I'm trying to pick something up that I messed up. It doesn't hold a lot of water. It holds enough water, but not a lot of water. And you just want to work that color and get it to release from the paper and then dab it up. So like this color said, it is low staining. So you can get quite a bit of that color back off of your swatch, which is fantastic. That makes me really, really happy. So now this entire swatch tells me virtually everything I need to know about this color. This is its mass tone, this is its gradient, this is the name, this is the brand, light fast, staining. So it is low staining. So I am going to color in the bar. Yeah, I'm going to color in the bottom half of this just so that I know that I can't get that paper all the way back to white. It is going to have that pink hue to the paper no matter what I do to it, because it will stain the paper partially. It is completely transparent, as you can see by our black sample there. That black is nice and black, looks super bright and vivid. And it is a non-granulating color because that is a completely flat mass tone. So here are all of our samples in their end glory, nice and dry. The oranges, the purples are nice grayed out color here. A little bit of a greeny brown. This is the original color. I really, really love this color, you guys, and I use it a ton. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any suggestions or anything, definitely leave them in the description box below. And if you'd like to see more of these videos, please give me a thumbs up, just so I know that I should keep making them. View count does tell me a lot, but thumbs up really means a lot to the channel and to myself. So I hope you guys will enjoy that, and I will see you guys next week with another color focus. Bye!